welcome to the Motorsport Coaching Podcast, sponsored by MotiV8 Training Management. This is a podcast where we talk to drivers and industry experts to help you maximize your performances on and off the track. Let's get started with today's show. Hello, Rachelle. Welcome back to the Motorsport Coaching Podcast.
Thanks for having me back.
Last time we chatted on episode 48, you were about to launch Race Chix Motorsport. A very exciting time up to episode 86. What's been happening?
That is amazing that it's actually been that long and that there's been so many podcast episodes in between. So that is fantastic. Well done to you.
Thank you.
What's been happening in the time since we last spoke? Well, I guess, yes, I've launched Race Chix Motorsport, and that's been up and running, and that's been doing really, really well. So we have a lifestyle apparel range, we have merchandise, we have Race Chix merchandise, we have a Facebook community group, and then just recently we've launched Race Chix Race School. We started off with networking events, and then stupid COVID hit, and like everyone else, we had to change our plans and what we were doing, but then we started doing virtual networking events online, which if it wasn't for COVID, then we wouldn't have done those. So that was actually a good thing that came out of that. So we've been doing those, and then we've also started some live Q&As, some educational live Q&As that we do every 3 weeks. So yeah, lots been happening. It's been great that we've been able to have these offerings for women in motorsport.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I saw that the Facebook group's around about 400, or the page is currently up to about 400 men and women, isn't there?
Yeah, so the page is, so that's up around the 700 mark.
Wow.
And then for the actual group, I think it's around 450 Race Chix. So that is pretty much, I would say, 98% chicks.
Yeah.
In that group. Like for me, that is that supportive networking, that safe space, like for me. So my preference is to just have that for women in the group, so that we can ask whatever questions we like, we can make whatever comments we like. It's in a supportive environment, and it's all like-minded chicks, and it's all about networking and connecting, encouraging each other, inspiring each other, and having a laugh.
And how do you think you've attracted those members to your community? Have you been doing Facebook ads? Have you just been word of mouth?
It's been a bit of everything. Boosting posts, and been a lot of when you see people coming into the group, they've been invited by other people. And so I think it's, word of mouth, attending events, boosting posts, things like that. It's about awareness. I think that, this community group is there for women in motorsport, and just, trying to get that word out there.
And who is in the group? Like, what's the type of demographic that's actually within your community?
It is mainly, women. Ages. I did have the ages. It's pretty much, I think majority or 70% were over 30 in the group. So yeah. And I just did a poll yesterday, which is majority of the women in the group are first generation motorsport participants, which really amazed me. I honestly thought that it would have been more second generation. I find that fascinating. So so I'm really glad I did that poll, that majority of the participants are either first generation officials, competitors, supporters, of somebody in motorsport.
Yeah, I guess over the last 5 to 10 years, there's been a real big push about women in sport in general. So probably not that, surprising, because we have been promoting it. And I know a lot of the clubs have got special women in motorsport programs to help them get started. And I'm sure that's what's driven you to start Race Chix Motorsport.
Yeah.
There was that missing thing. So that's fantastic that they are first generation. I guess they're all needing some education, and that's where you and your services can come on board. Let's go through those, like the networks and how they work. And I mean, yes. prior to COVID, we're going to do them face-to-face. And
yeah, so the idea was that, I love meeting people. You do it every day, I'd be out for lunch, having lunch with people and meeting people. Yeah. So the idea was to connect women across motorsport genres. So I found through my involvement with cars and different, sanctioning body events and the same in karting as well, that we were quite disconnected. And I find that and generally when people talk about women in motorsport, it's about their specific, it's either the category or the genre, but we're kind of talked about as a whole, but we're not. Yeah. So I found it quite disconnected. And with us being such a small percentage, like we're only about 10% participation numbers across the board. And I just find that it's very important for us as women to have a community around us and to have that supportive environment. So, we like to be part of something. So, a lot of the times there's not a category or a club, there's not enough numbers there to create that community. So it was really about connecting women in motorsport across motorsport genres and then having that supportive network so that if, there's women in a club that there's not enough to create that community, then that's okay. We've got that community there for you. So we're kind of, that add-on
filling the void.
Clubs. Yeah. And it's been great. It's, some of the posts that I see and, there's, girls are putting posts of their first time at the track. And I just love the comments that everyone's making on there. You got this, this is fantastic. It's brilliant. It's, it's kind of what I wanted is happening, which is fantastic.
Well done. Obviously, with the networking seminars, we've had to come online due to COVID. I think you've had two now, and one was with just drivers from different genres, and then the second one was around about officials that work within the sports.
Yep. Yeah. So that was good. I wanted to highlight the different categories that women are competing in, which was great. I didn't know until I started Race Chix that quad bike racing was a thing. That is just so cool. I definitely want to have a go at that. So then I wanted to then do the same thing for our officials. There's so many different officiating roles that there's more to officiating than just waving a flag. So, I wanted to highlight those and, have a bit of an educational that. So if people wanted to get involved in officiating, that they can learn about the roles. And we have those videos on the website as well for the different officiating roles. So if people are interested in volunteering and getting close to the action, then they can. Those videos are there.
Yeah, and so I guess through feedback and input from your current members, there was a need to maybe do some online seminars. And so you recently started those, you said every 3 weeks. Yeah. So we've done like sponsorship, nutrition, and fitness and rehab last time with Sarah. So tell us a little bit about those.
So again, those live Q&As have come out of discussions with women in the group. And thanks to you kicked off our first live Q&A with sponsorship. And it's kind of the questions that I get asked then I'll do something for that, which is kind of where the live Q&As come from. And so we've done sponsorship and sports nutrition, how important that is for drivers, and then recovery and injury prevention. Our next one is on tarmac rallying. So, and then, next year, again, we'll do another one with yourself on social media. So just all those really important aspects of motorsport that it's really good to learn about and to know about. And I'm just, lucky that we have this forum and we have so many amazing women in our network like yourself that we're able to provide this opportunity for everyone. And they're free. The people
and they're free. That's right.
And they're
free. And so, Rach, you mentioned earlier about obviously Race Chix Network being a massive love fest, a great community for women in motorsports to be involved. And so you felt there was a requirement to a merchandise range. Was that an emotional decision to do a merchandise range, or was it just a business decision?
No, it was actually it was my first decision on what I wanted to do. Like my first thought was that I wanted to do a lifestyle apparel range. So, you know, I love my motorsport. So if, you know, casual Friday at work, if I wanted to wear something, you know, just something to the office, I didn't have anything. Like I just found for me that I wanted, you know, some stylish, you know, some nice motorsport apparel that I could wear, you know, casual Friday to work or on the weekends to a barbecue at a friend's house, that, you know, that I want to represent, that I'm a race chick and be proud and show that, you know, represent that I'm a race chick. So yeah, that's basically how that came about and where that came from.
Yeah, so they're beautiful pieces. Yeah, so you can check them out on the website.
Yes. Yeah, so everything you can purchase online, which via the website, which is racechixmotorsport.com.au.
So obviously over the last couple of months, we're doing some fantastic things, as we mentioned, networking online, some live Q&A seminars, we've got a lifestyle wear Facebook group.
Yes.
And
now, so exciting that was, I think it's about 2 weeks old, only 2 weeks old now, launched Race Chix Race School, which is a national motorsport training school for chicks. That's created by chicks, for chicks. So again, that's, you know, come about through my experience for the last few years. I've been running a motorsport development program for women in Sydney, and over the last, you know, through those years, I kept getting questions and requests from other states to run it because there wasn't anything else, you know, like it. But that the model, you know, because it was through a car club, I couldn't replicate it. It wasn't really scalable. So, you know, I wanted to do something that was scalable, and it's really important for me that everything I do with Race Chix is national. So I decided and I came up with Race Chix Race School, which is, there's 3 levels of that. So it's either, like, for the beginner, we have our Motorsport 101 course, which unpacks motorsport. So for the beginner, they don't need to know anything or have any experience. And then we have Motorsport 102, which is for chicks that have been doing some track days and then step up to competing in super sprints or regularity. So, you know, taking that step from non-competitive to competitive motorsport. And then Motorsport 103 for those that then want to step up to door-to-door racing. So, I mean, that's the other thing is, you know, I found there's driver training, but there's not motorsport training.
Yep.
So, and, you know, I was only speaking to a lady today and I said, who's enrolled in the Motorsport 101 course. I said, why haven't you done anything up until now to get into circuit racing? And she said, because I didn't know how to get involved. And she's doing it for her 60th birthday. How cool is that? Yeah, she's doing it for her, you know, bucket list type stuff. And that's the thing. And even myself, how I got into motorsport is, you know, we only see what's on TV. So we're only seeing those 1%ers, but it's not general knowledge of how to get started in motorsport. And that's just not for women. That's for everybody. Yeah. So, you know, for me, there's that disconnect. So I'm just trying to do what I can to help, you know, close that, connect the disconnect, and by offering these types of courses, so that if somebody is an enthusiast, you know, for example, Bathurst this weekend is, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh my God, how cool would that be to drive at Bathurst? They've got no idea how to get started. Then this is, you know, this is breaking down the barriers for women to get into motorsport.
Yeah, and I guess like our similar stories around with MotiV8, that there's a lot of information. There's a lot of driver coaches out there, but they don't actually coach the off-track development side. And I think that was the niche that I picked up. And that's why I say, well, when people say, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a driver coach. And they're like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, for the off-track development, because it's just as important as the on-track. And I felt, again, through my experience, that there was that missing link between the on-track and what the guys were delivering during the driver coaching versus to what education platforms and things that are available around. How do I get sponsorship? And it's very different, like swimming. Like if you type in swimming fitness into Google, there'll be pages and pages on how to get fit, how to lose weight, how to maximize your stroke performance. But there's nothing when it comes to, well, there's nothing standard when it comes to motorsport fitness or motorsports athlete performance. Sure, there would be like Facebook pages that you can connect with, and there's definitely drivers that work with, there's definitely coaches that work with Formula One drivers that specifically, but as far as the off-track stuff, there was actually nothing really going around. So it's just one of those links.
Yeah, and there is so much to learn. Like I still learn, and especially when they change rules or they change regulations, and then it can come down to who is actually, running the event or who the sanctioning body is. It's, there's a lot to learn, and it can be very intimidating, especially for women. Like I had comments from a lady that was at the track only a couple of weeks ago, and she said, everyone just kind of looked at me. I was the only girl there, and everyone just looked at me. So it's... so it can be intimidating, and it's and there's more to it than just turning up and just driving around the track. But it is the easiest. Circuit racing is the easiest and the cheapest form of motorsport to get involved in, because you can take your road register car to the track. It's so easy for us to do it. You just need a pair of jeans and a long sleeve cotton shirt and non-flammable wear and a helmet. It is, it's so easy to get involved, but the knowledge isn't there it's just not general knowledge, because we don't grow up with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Unless your family's involved or you've got close friends involved. We all know how to get into footy or soccer or netball, because we're around that growing up, but motorsport isn't. It's a well-kept secret.
Yeah, well, that's why I felt the need last week to even host a Facebook Live with Cameron Hill, who works with karters to Fuller Ford to push GT3 Cup and the Carrera Cup program, because one of the biggest questions I always get asked is where to next, like after karting, or if they're starting maybe motorsports a little bit later in life, they might not want to go to karting because they might feel like it is like more of a younger child thing, and they might be in late teens, early 20s, and they want to know, well, where do I start grassroots? So I don't think it matters what gender you are or where you've come from in the motorsports world. There's nothing like clearly like, yes, this is where you start. Again, using the swimming analogy, if you want to start swimming lesson, you go to your local pool.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Then, like, trying to find like your local car club or kart club, it's quite extraordinary.
Or even that
to take you with you.
So motorsport. So race school is a motorsport training school. Yes. It's more than just a driving school.
Yeah, so you've got 3 different stages. So we mentioned like stage 1 is the real basics. So what's really covered in Motorsport 101? I love the titles of them, by the way.
Thanks. so difficult. Yeah. So Motorsport 101 is, that the basis of learning everything to get started in doing track days is, so in terms of actual practical, it's learning the capabilities of your car in terms of, understeer, oversteer, throttle braking, threshold braking. So the advanced driver techniques that you need to have, or you should have, that a lot of people don't have, before you actually take your car onto the track. So, and again, with women, we learn a bit differently in terms to men, like when it comes to the motorsport environment. And this is something that I've learned over the years, and I get told it quite a lot, is that, so for an analogy, men tend to go from 0 to 120, say, oh crap, and then bring it back to 100. And I'll do that a couple of times. But with women, it's all about confidence with us. So we will go from 0 to 80, and then we'll go from 80 to 90, and then 90 to 100. We get to 100, but we get there differently. Yeah. And it's all about confidence with us, and we don't go to that next step until we're confident. So, and the way, you gain that confidence, one of the ways is through knowledge. So, having that background knowledge of, from the theory side as well, learning all the lingo, how to prep your car, what to do when you get to the racetrack, all those fundamentals that you may not know, is, that is what gives you confidence as well. So it's really important to have that side of it. with, Motorsport 101, completely unpacking motorsport, talk about the different stages, different pathways, apparel that you need, everything, to give women the confidence of going to the track.
And so are these courses online, Rachel?
No, face-to-face.
Yep.
So, and again, part of that is connecting with other race chicks as well. So, theory, so it's all done face-to-face.
Yeah. And then you've got Motorsport 102.
Yes.
So after you completed 101, so how long does the course go for, by the way? Is it just a day?
101 and 102 are 1 days, and then 103 will be 2 days. So that's where, yes, we're partnering with MotiV8 Management, and we're looking at it with, looking at it from a business perspective, because it's, as we know, costs so much money. And, one thing that I'll be drilling into all our students is the faster you go, the faster you spend money with motorsport. So, they don't have to go, if they don't want to go into racing, and get sponsors and things like that, they don't have to. But if if that's something they want to do, then we're going to educate them on how to do that, looking at it from a business perspective, looking at your budget, looking at your sponsors, social media, PR, all that kind of thing, but also then your nutrition side as well, which is so important. So, those kind of things we might do depending on how stupid COVID is going, because we'll probably be looking at doing our first 103 course towards the end of next year, depending how we're going with interests. But, in preparation for, they might be do their year of super sprints next year, and then they'll be looking towards the end of next year if they're going to be stepping up to door-to-door racing, everything that they need to know. And again, looking at, and throughout all this, we look at tyres, we look at brakes, we look at fluids, we look at apparel. It's all of that back-end stuff that they need, the different requirements for the different levels of motorsport, because it does change.
And are you presenting this information, or have you got different presenters? Obviously, for the off-track stuff, we just mentioned
yeah.
For the car part side.
Yeah, so for the theory side, that's with myself, and then the practical side, the driver training, is with driver trainers. So in Sydney at Sydney Motorsport Park, we're doing that with Driving Solutions. Mm-hmm. So they will be in very good hands with James and the team there at Sydney Motorsport Park.
And so you've got the first Motorsport 101 booked in. When's it kicking
off? Yeah, 3rd of November, which is Melbourne Cup Day. So 3:00. So, we'll look at a different kind of horsepower at the start of the course. And then we'll look at the better horsepower after that. Yeah, so we're kicking off. So it's an afternoon, so they can work in the morning if they need to, because we now have the lights at Sydney Motorsport Park, which look absolutely amazing. So we thought that, we'd have a play at night. So afternoon and the evening.
Fantastic. And if people wanted to know some more information for themselves, for their partners, for their friend that could be interested in just getting started and just really learning about the basics of what's required to go motorsport racing, where can they race to?
Yes, so it's racechixmotorsport.com.au, and then head to the Race Chix Race School page.
That's a mouthful.
It is. So, and yes, just remember that Race Chix is spelled with an X, CHIX.
That's so funny. I mean, that's amazing. You've got so many things happening at the moment, Rach. Just very proud of you. Is there anything else in the pipeline, or is 2021 going to be the year just to really condense all the fantastic things you've started in 2020?
I think that's kind of enough now. But I'm really hoping that we can get around, travel through the different states, probably start in Queensland and Victoria, after New South Wales, and then I'd really love to get to the other states and hold some race schools there. I think that would just be absolutely amazing.
Let's go to Adelaide and make sure we go to the Barossa to stay.
100%.
I feel like we need to do some business planning over there.
Yeah, definitely. I think I need to move that up.
That's right. We'll go there next if I'm allowed out of this stage.
Yeah.
Well, Rachel, thank you again for joining us on episode 86 of the Motorsport Coaching Podcast. I'm very excited to hear how well Race Chix Motorsport Group is going. So well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm proud of you, seeing you grow from like this concept, this idea, remember you'd saying a year or so ago, to seeing what it is today. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Working with you on this journey. And might get you on another 40 episodes just to see what's happening.
That'd be exciting, wouldn't it?
Yes, well, maybe next time we could actually have some of the girls that have gone through the course and so they can give some feedback. And
that would be great, wouldn't it?
We might do that in another 40 episodes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, Rach. Have a fantastic weekend and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Hey guys, Alex Gardner here, go-kart racer from Queensland. I've been with MotiV8 for about a year now and I've definitely benefited from her and her crew. Nutrition, social media, sponsorship and exercise is what she helps me with. She also does mental strength as well. I'm looking forward to my journey ahead with MotiV8 Training.
Well, thanks everyone for listening to this week's show. I really hope you enjoyed that one as much as I did. Now, remember, all the show notes with the links and the specials mentioned in today's show are available over at motiv8training.com.au. If you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you could head to iTunes or Stitcher, type in Motorsport Coaching, subscribe, and leave us a review. Each week, I'll read them out and you'll go into a monthly draw to win a fantastic prize. If you have any questions or comments, please email us at motiv8training.com.au or head over to our Facebook page at MotiV8T. Until next time, take care.